Fourth grade, I am so excited that we are finishing our narrative, realistic fiction, personal narrative unit this week. This week, you're going to work and publish your best story yet. So maybe you take a topic you've already written about. Maybe it's something completely new from your writing territory. But today, I want you to take a couple of minutes and think, what is a story I can write this week and publish by Friday? So we're going to take today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to draft. Write our story. I've included videos this week of how to add details, how to have dialogue. On Thursday, you're going to use this checklist to revise and edit your paper. Make sure it's great, ready to go. And then on Friday, we are going to celebrate and we are going to share out our stories. We're going to do that through Google Meets. We're going to do that with administrators in our classroom, all the different things. And so you at home will have options to log on to Google Meets, for your parents to log on with you and listen to other kids' stories in class. So however you choose to do that. So let's look at this checklist. So you know exactly what I need to have in my story this week, my big and final story. So the first thing says, I wrote the important part of an event bit by bit and took out the unimportant parts. So I told the important things, but not a bunch of fluff. Not yet. I'm starting to do that. Or yes, I did that. I wrote a beginning in which I showed what was happening and where, getting the readers into the world of the story. We don't want to start a story with, I remember when. Okay? Start with action. Start with a sound word. Start with someone talking. Okay? Those are good leads to start our stories. Transition words. Next, this happened. Quickly. After a while. A little while later. Did I use words like that instead of just first, next, last, and then? The ending of my story. I wrote an ending that connected to the beginning or the middle of the story. Like the ending of my story just wasn't some random ending. It all tied the rest of my story together. And I used action, dialogue, or feeling to bring my story to a close. So I closed my story up with how I felt about what happened in the story or whatever it might be. Organization. I used paragraphs to separate the different parts or times of the story to show when a new character was speaking. So I don't want just all your paper just jumbled together. If you're telling first this happened, then this happened, that would be 5 paragraphs. This paragraph's telling me what the problem is. This is telling me what happened after the problem happened. This is the big event, how the problem got solved, however you're going to talk your story out. 5 paragraphs, 5-finger story. Then let's look at elaboration. I added more to the heart of my story, including not only actions and dialogue, but also thoughts and feelings. We have to tell what we're feeling and what we're thinking in those big drama moments. I showed why my characters did what they did by including their thinking. So if you're writing a realistic fiction story, we're including what those characters are thinking, so I feel like I'm there with them. I made some of the parts of the story go quickly and some go slowly. So maybe we were only in the car for a minute, but I was at that sleepover for a really long time because it was a big part of my story. I included precise and sometimes sensory details and used figurative language, such as he was mad as a bull. Okay, I can compare it to a bull. Did I use very precise details? The blue and white fluffy clouds in the sky, not just the clouds. Okay. I used a storytelling voice and conveyed the emotion or tone of my story through description, phrases, dialogue, and thoughts. Guys, the voice of that story is coming from you. Did you include so much thought that I emotionally felt like I was there with you? Okay. And then the last thing is spelling and punctuation. Did I go back and did I edit my paper to make sure I did the best I could and that I had quotation marks around my dialogue? I had periods to end my sentences, and I checked my spelling at the end of the week to make sure it was ready to go.